All right, vocabulary number 20. These are all from Banners of Freedom and A Loyalist Daughter. So, as always, definition, sentence, in your exit slip, please make sure to do 4 of the words, use them in sentences. Liberate. Liberate means to set free or let out. So you could say, we liberated the hawk from its cage. We set it free. We let it out. In the text, it uses it saying, slaves are going to liberate freemen, my tyrants, which is an interesting sentence. It's talking about how slaves are helping to set the colonists free when the colonists, like, are free, right? They're not slaves, but they're being set free from being ruled by England. So it's this interesting irony where the people who are actually enslaved are helping the colonists who just sort of like feel trapped. So it's an interesting perspective on the war. Tyrants in that same sentence are people who use authority in a cruel or harsh way. So you could say the tyrant is responsible for the deaths of millions of his fellow citizens. I didn't write another sentence from the text because it's in the one right above. You don't need to rewrite it. But slaves are going to liberate freemen, my tyrants. He's calling the colonists who are enslaving the Africans tyrants. Sometimes you also hear the word tyranny. Pronounced slightly differently, but connected. So tyranny is like when a tyrant rules. Just another form of it. Because tyrant is a noun, the person, but like the thing, the rule is tyranny. All right, prosperity, the state of being wealthy and successful. So the Great Depression was not a time of prosperity. We talked about that, the other unit. We watched a video talking about how a lot of people were poor. They were not wealthy and successful. Now, in The Loyalist Daughter, she's also sad that her sort of side has lost or was losing and then ended up losing because her family did not want the colonists to win. They wanted England to stay in charge. So they were happy when England was in charge. So she says, those joyful days when all was prosperity and peace are gone. So like they were happy and wealthy and successful, but now she's saying they are not. So again, just a different perspective than you sometimes hear on the war. Emancipated. Emancipated is kind of similar to liberated. Emancipated means freed from slavery or other control. So used more specifically, like set free from slavery or from jail, or than just kind of in general. So the prisoner was emancipated when they found he was not guilty. My services in the war emancipated me from slavery, is how it's used in the text. Some slaves who fought in the American Revolution were then given their freedom for fighting. So yes, slaves are often, or enslaved people are often those that are referred to as being emancipated. Unsettled. Now, usually we use unsettled as just like not settled, but specifically this is like if someone's kind of upset, unsettled, shaken up or disturbed. So the unsettled customers demanded their money back. It wasn't just that they couldn't get comfortable, it was like they were upset about it. This next sentence is kind of an old-fashioned way of speaking. I am in a most unsettled humor. Humor was another word for mood. So she was saying she was in kind of an upset mood. Dispatches. Dispatches are messages sent with speed. Now, it can also be a verb like dispatch the letters. But in this case, it is like the messages are called dispatches. Our commander has just received dispatches from his boss. He just arrived with dispatches from General Washington, is what she says in her journal. Melancholy is a feeling of sadness or depression. So you could say Sam was overcome with melancholy when his grandma died. And in her her writing in A Loyalist Daughter, she says, "We've talked about the melancholy situation of things." So just this like sad situation, this depressing situation. And last but not least, contract, an agreement that is supported by the law. So he signed a contract to work for a month. In the text he did. And then he said, once I had fulfilled this contract, I traveled to Vermont. So with, like when you agree to work for someone, you usually sign a contract. As always, let me know if you have questions, and good luck writing sentences using those words.